Hansworm hat. I saw this posted to Reddit, and I guess the anniversary just happened or something. And they always have to keep these things in people's minds. Even back in the day before TV, I'm sure they constantly ran newspaper articles. Oh, on the 57th anniversary of whatever. And yeah, they have to keep dragging these things up. And they keep their lies alive like that by just constantly referring to them. Every year they'll talk about D-Day when it comes out, I'm sure, just because they have to keep that World War II programming. And so just look at their faces. Do these really look like people that are about to go die? I mean, this one right here looks like 12 years old. Uh, Here we go with one of their favorite hand signs. Look at that. That's not like a natural way to hold your hand for the camera, and they do it for the camera. They know that the camera can see it. It looks like they're holding a magic wand, but there's just not a wand there. Yeah, they don't look scared. Not at all. And this isn't what Saving Private Ryan. So what they do is they take their fake history things, which are just reenactments, enactments, and reenactments. You know how they people love to dress up in Civil War stuff and do reenactments? That's all it ever was. You know how in your history class you're sitting there like, this doesn't make any sense the way that you're showing these paintings of people sitting or standing in these lines and just firing at one another, and you could just know that's not how real life works. People, human beings don't just stand in line and gun each other down like they're a little toy soldier or something. That's just not how warfare works. And I mean, that's how just doing a production, it's a play. And today's reenactments of the Civil War are just as realistic as the Civil War ever was. If you go look at Civil War photos, they look the exact same as this. I don't know why there's not more channels out there doing this kind of stuff. History debunking just by looking at the photos. They give us the photos. It's just if you have the ability to reject the official narrative, because what is history? His story? It's all an appeal to the official narrative. But if you just look at historical photos, there's so much more there to be seen and to be talked about, and it's clearly not what they tell us. Saving Private Ryan, the movie, does not match D-Day photos. We get so many photos of alleged dead bodies are just people laying on the ground, and there's no way to corroborate whether it's actually a dead body or just a person laying on the ground like here. But once you see enough of these, you realize, oh yeah, none of these photos that they're showing of, oh look at all these dead bodies, you never see like a huge amount of blood pooled out. If somebody bleeds out, it's a lot of blood, and these people look all clean. It's like they're just taking a photograph. Why so many photographs? How many photographers did they have running around snapping these photos in a real wartime scenario? How many up close photos do you expect to get like this? If these people got gunned down, why is it safe to be sitting here taking photos now all of a sudden? You'll always see strange symbols that they put in the background. Is that a 13 or is that a B or is that a just a 3 or something? I don't know. But it's just staged. And we see this stuff today. They've been doing psyops like this forever. It's a staged photograph. Is this really supposed to be someone? I don't know what's going on here. They look bored though. A lot of D-Day stuff, they look really bored. How a Pennsylvania man ended up in an iconic D-Day photo. So what's going on here? Are these people struggling because they just got shot at and now, I'm think in your mind like Saving Private Ryan. These big turrets are supposed to be up on the hill shooting down at these people. They're supposed to be getting shot at. So there's a photographer, a photographer. There's a photographer just standing here taking a photo. Why doesn't the photographer get gunned down? What's even who's taking the photo is like the main question that you need to ask yourself. Who's taking the photo? Who is recording this? If you can get yourself to start asking that question, you'll see so much hoaxery. I mean, stuff that doesn't even have to do with war or anything serious. You'll just be watching some viral like clip of something happening, if you just simply ask the question of why would somebody be recording in this moment, who's taking the photograph, you can see that this stuff is it's staged. There's no way for this to not be staged. So what? They're in the middle of war, and there's a photographer right here standing between the enemy and gunned down. That doesn't make sense. They really look bored in a lot of the photos. It's a camping trip. Where's all the people ready to gun these people down? Hiding up in the hills or something? Oh, they got a smoke thing over there. But the hillside looks empty. It just looks totally empty, the beach where they're landing. It's a camping trip. They're going on a camping trip. Smear some stuff on your face. Put some bandages over your face. Like, what? Do any of these people really look hurt? This person has some duping delight. Seriously, wrap yourself up in bandages. They don't look like they have anything physically wrong with them whatsoever. That is ridiculous. They are taking the piss with that one. What? Seriously, what happens so that this person needs to wrap up their whole head like a mummy, but they're not like laying down being cared? They're just sitting here like it's no big deal. No big deal, just a mummy. Just hanging out like a mummy. That is ridiculous. 24 harrowing photos from the front lines of. What's harrowing about this? It looks like a dude taking a nap. Grenades are a big hoax. Grenades are not as powerful as what they say. You're just used to seeing a bunch of explosions from cinematics. You're just used to seeing cinematics. Oh, look at all these people laying down on the ground. Is that an airship in the background? That's kind of cool. There's probably something that those airships, that would be worth a video looking into all that stuff. Very bizarre. Do these look like people that are going off to die? These people know that it's a bunch of BS, that they're on a camping trip, and they're going to go take some photos to send to people. Do these look like people who are about to go die? No. Magic wand hand. They know it's a hoax. Quick, lay down for 5 seconds so I can take a photo. Oh, spray some water on the ground first and contort your body like crazy. What are the circumstances where somebody's body ends up looking like this? It's a staged photo where they're like, twist and mangle your body as crazy as possible. Oh, lay down real quick, take some photos. Rub some. The one in the bottom left looks like they put a little bit more effort into it, but it's the same stuff that we see today with their psyops. Just give a little special effects makeup, take some photos, and that's how they make reality. They create reality by taking photos. And seeing is believing is like what they like to say. Belief is the core of magic. Is belief. If they can get you to believe in something, their illusion magic has worked. Like, what is the scenario that ends up with people getting like this? Are we supposed to think that there was some sort of explosion that made this person buried? If you were super close to an explosion, your body would be mangled, and this person looks totally fine, totally healthy. That's just what you see when you go start looking at these war things. I've been on the internet for a long time. I've seen some disgusting gore in my life, and when you go look at military stuff, it seriously just looks like people laying down on the ground. It doesn't look like gore. It just looks like somebody laying there. They get your mind to fill in the details. They seriously, they just get your mind to, oh, that person had a wife and kids, and they get you to emotionally react to something which is just probably somebody laying down. Whenever I think of fake war, I think of this. Matthew chapter 24, verse 6, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. I think that all of the wars, the bloody, slicing people up with swords and arrows, and I think that is all done. That has already happened. The NWO is already here. The Victorian era, everything had already been unified, I think. And I think the Victorian era was just the beginning of the end. They had been victorious at wiping out all the non-NWO entities and really started to. That's when they began to take over the world, go reclaim all these old world cities, dig them up, pretend like they built it, pretend like those cowboys built all these giant masonry buildings on the West Coast. Theater. They tell you it's disclosure. Disclosure is one of the big ways that these people operate. It's part of the karmic release, they believe. And I think it's a way that they can mock people and a way that they can wake people up and get new initiates. They can point these things out. Look, it's called the theater of war because it's all a big hoax. And I'm just some random person on the internet saying these things. But if you're trying to initiate yourself into some sort of Illuminati cult and the cult leader tells you, hey, it's all BS, it's really easy to wake them up. Whereas, if you just watch somebody's YouTube video, you have to watch a lot and start to think for yourself to start to see all the connections to wake up if, you're not an initiate. It's easier to wake up the initiates because I think they're taking it from an authority figure. Whereas if you're just some random truther person, you have to figure these things out for yourself and use God-given discernment. Dummy tanks are a great example of disclosure. They tell us that war is fake all the time. They went through the trouble of making these blow up tanks. It's straight out of Hollywood. It's straight out of Hollywood. These are film ready background tanks for taking Hollywood photographs and Hollywood video production. It's not to fool the enemy. That's ridiculous. Real warfare, are you going to spend time making a dummy tank? But if you're doing a Hollywood production, it's really nice to have stuff like this. Blow up dummy tank. Who is taking all the photographs? And look, it's like a piece of art. I think something that's really obvious for me is when people, it's art. It's not just a documentation. When you're watching Nat Geo, you're not just watching a documentary, you're watching produced footage. Somebody produced this, it's artwork. You're watching art and it's not real life most of the time. Same thing with this. You're not watching history be documented. You're watching art, propaganda. This is propaganda. It's powerful imagery, sure, but you don't know what's happening here. Do you really think that they're shooting at another ship? That's what they tell you, that it's a ship shooting at another ship. In real warfare, is there time for these photographers to line up a perfect dramatic shot? It's like it's only there to capture the images. It's not real warfare. It's literally, we got to get the good shot. We got to get a good shot because it's impactful. USS Arkansas BB-33 fires a broadside at the enemy. All of these things were documented in kind of a strange amount of detail. Does every ship has a designated photographer to take photos of things being fired? It just seems odd to me. If you were really in warfare, like, you would need that person on a gun or something, doing something productive, not taking photographs. Water provided. Smiles. All smiles. There's gotta be something strange going on here. John Brown, broadcast news of the battle. Such a perfectly framed. Man, these photographers, they have all the time in the world to frame up these beautiful, beautiful photographs. If this really was a wartime situation, a general would say, get the F out of here. You're not taking my portrait right now. This is war. You get out of here. But instead we get these beautiful, it's like something you'd put on your mantelpiece. These war photographs, it's like a Renaissance painting. Ridiculous. Crew members play a card game on deck. It's the same thing with the Civil War photos. YouTube took down my Civil War video. Vimeo took down my Civil War video. I think hopefully it's still up on BitChute. I don't know. But same thing with the Civil War. This goes way back. The NWO has been here since the Victorian era, I believe. I don't think any war after the Victorian era is believable at all. It's just political games. It's theater. Crew members eats. They had time to just sit there, have a sandwich, relaxing on a lull in the attack. Yeah, that's not what Saving Private Ryan showed me. I didn't see any lulls in the attack for Saving Private Ryan where people are just chilling. Look at that. They look bored. They look utterly bored. God bless everyone. War is fake. Jesus Christ is the truth. You have to repent, and it's over. This whole place, the illusion has gone away. There's so many people waking up. Jesus Christ is waking us up. Praise God. Praise Jesus. Thank you all for following me these years. And yeah, God bless everyone.